Hello and welcome back to episode number 5 of the Music Theory Basics course. As always, I am Jake. Today we are talking about triads. Let's dig in.
Hello and welcome. I am Jake, a full-time musician and music educator based in Portland, Oregon. I make about half my living recording, touring, and performing, and the other half teaching lessons in guitar, piano, voice, songwriting, and more. And that's why I'm here on YouTube, to share with people around the world my music, my experience, and the lessons that have helped me along the way.
So in the last lesson, we learned about intervals. So, for example, we learned that from C to G is called the perfect fifth, or from C to F is called the perfect fourth. We learned about major thirds and minor seconds. Now, when you play two notes together, like this interval right here, we get what's called a dyad. And a dyad is just two notes being played at the same time. But today, we are working on triads. So, a triad is just three notes being played at the same time. Now, a triad was called a triad because it was built on thirds. So again, using the vocabulary from our intervals lesson, built on thirds, we're going to be talking about major thirds and minor thirds. The first type of triad that we are going to learn about is a major triad. So a major triad, we're going to start with C major right here. And the way that we're going to speak about these triads is by describing the intervals from one note to the next in our triad. So from C to E, if you remember from the intervals lesson, this is called a major third. Specifically, a major third is 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps. So if our root note is C in this case, 4 half steps up gives us E. So we have a major third. Now from E to G, which is our top note, we have 3 half steps, otherwise known as a minor third. So we have a major third and a minor third. Here we have a major triad. And we can take that formula, we can take that sequence, and we can apply it to any note. So if we wanted to make D major, for example, we can start on D. First we go a major third, 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps, we get F sharp. Then we go a minor third, 1, 2, 3 half steps, we get an A, D, F sharp, and A is a major D major chord. So one of my favorites, B flat. We start on B flat, we do a major third, that's 4 half steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3 for the minor third, we get a B flat major triad. So we can make any major triad just by following that sequence. Now the question is, what if we want to make a minor triad? Remember that we have 4 different types of triad. So the second of which, the second most common, would be a minor triad. So all we're going to do is we're just going to flip that pattern. We're going to go a minor third, then we're going to go a major third from there. So if we wanted to make a C minor triad, we would start on C, 1, 2, 3 half steps, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So we go from C to D sharp or E flat, and then to G. So this is a C minor triad. So remember, a minor triad, by definition, we start on the root note, we go a minor third, and then a major third. We go 3 half steps and then 4 half steps, and we get our minor triad. So if we wanted to make a D minor triad, start on D, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. D minor triad. So again, we can take that sequence, we can take that minor third, major third formula, and we can make any triad. So let's knock out the other 2. We have major, we have minor. Now we have a diminished triad, which is 3 half steps and then 3 half steps, or a minor third and then a minor third. So C diminished would be C, D sharp, F sharp. And last but not least, we have an augmented triad. So an augmented triad goes 2 major thirds. So we have a major third from C to E. We have another major third from E to G sharp. So there you have it. Very basically, those are the 4 different types of triad. So as long as you remember that sequence, you can build any triad: major, minor, diminished, augmented. Another really important thing to note, and just kind of a little hack, a little trick right here, is that the difference between a major triad and a minor triad is just that middle third, just that third in the middle moving down a half a step. So from major to minor, that middle note is going to fall just a half a step. So as we start to go through different chords and different keys, you'll start to see that come up a lot. The difference between the major and the minor triad is just that the major, the third is a half step higher, and in the minor triad, the third is a half step lower. So there you have it. That's triads in a nutshell. We have 4 different types: major, minor, diminished, and augmented. And hopefully you should now be equipped to at least figure out the notes in a triad. So if I said I wanted you to play an F major or a B flat diminished or a G minor triad, that you would be able to at least figure out the notes. Okay, so just a note on triads for all the guitar players out there. Like I said in the last episode, the guitar can be kind of a jumbled mess, but it's extra important for that reason to really think about these things and to give them some attention. So what I mean by that is we just talked about triads, right? These basic building blocks to making a 3-note chord. And that's exactly what we're playing on the guitar. So when we play a C major chord, for example, C, E, G, we have a C, an E, and a G. Now here in this case we have another C and we have another E, but it's all fundamentally a C major triad. We could also put a G on the bottom, or we could play that E on the bottom if you wanted. But still, just a C, a G, and an E. And the same goes for when we play them in bar chord shape or any other way. So we're still playing those triads. Same with G. A G major chord is a G, B, and a D. G, B, D. So we could have a G, B, D. In this case, another G. We could play this D, or we could play the B here. We could play a G on top. Still, just a G major triad. And it's going to be really, really, really important, especially as you start to dig into 7th chords, which we'll do in another lesson down the line. But as you start to change some of these shapes, just like we did with major triads and minor triads, we talked about those notes in the middle, that third shifting really subtly. So we can start to see that in some of our triads, and we'll also look at that in 7th chords and extended chords and sus chords and all those good things. Now for the $1 million question, why is this all important? And it's really important because triads are the foundation of a lot of the chords that we're going to talk about moving forward. So we're going to get into extended chords, that is 7th, 9th, 11th, 13th chords. And all of those fundamentally are built on the triads. We need to understand the triad first, and then we can start adding notes on to make more complex or more emotionally rich chords. And then also things like suspended chords and suspensions is moving or altering notes within the triad. So we also need to know the triad and then how it's going to change from there. So the next lesson is we're going to take a look at the triads, that is all of the chords, all of the 3-note chords within a key. So one of my favorite lessons is talking about all the chords in a key. So really, really, really helpful, especially for songwriting, especially for all the creative stuff, but identifying all the chords in a key. So that's coming up next. So if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead, drop me a like. I really appreciate it. It helps this video reach more people, lets me know that you got something out of it. So if there's anything that clicked, if there's anything that you finally understood, if there's anything that still doesn't make sense, anything I missed, go ahead and drop me a comment down below. Let me know what it is. Like I said, there's Going to be a couple more videos in this series all about the music theory basics. And the next course, the next series I'm doing is all on songwriting. It's about taking these ideas and applying them creatively and making some music out of it. So if that sounds like it's up your alley, consider subscribing and following along for the rest of the ride. So yeah, thanks again. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks for making the world a more musical place. I'll see you in the next one.